Yo, what is up, everybody? It's your boy Soda here with the Autumn Windbags. Back with another one here just for you. I was, I didn't want to pinch myself. I didn't want to like feel like I was sleeping and wake up and find out that this was all a dream, a pretty sweet, tasty dream, but a dream nonetheless. I woke up in the morning super early, so I wanted to listen to what everyone had to say on the East Coast who was tucked into sleep in bed. It was 1 o'clock in the morning when they found out that that was it. The Josh McDaniels, David Zeigler era for the Raiders was over. And it's true. We had the press conference today with new GM Champ Kelly and new head coach Antonio Pierce. And we got some more information that came out. Before I get into anything, you know how we do all the time, blah, blah, blah. Like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your haters, tell your mamas, tell your mama's friends, your haters' mamas, your friends' haters, your mama's friends. Also, memberships are available. Check it out. Check out some swag. We got stuff to sell. All the stuff that we do, all the memberships, all the cool stuff that we do goes right back into building our studio, and that's getting off the ground. So that's all the stuff that we have right now for you guys. All right, let's go. So, what is up, Raider Nation? Last night, it's like 10:05, and I'm like, RJ, you got to get up, bro. We got to get up and get on this live. I was going to do a live tonight anyway. And he's like, why? What happened? I said, dude, they just fired Josh McDaniels. Hopped on. We went on for like an hour. It was like 11:30 by the time we got off. And I'm a freaking early bird. I get up early in the morning. And I was like, man, I'm tired as hell. And I got up extra early this morning because the birds were chirping a little louder. The song sounded a little sweeter. We are finally done with the Josh McDaniels, Dave Zeigler era. No more Patriots West. Get them the hell out. A lot of stuff has been coming out. I don't know if you guys have watched, but everywhere, anybody who has any type of sports podcast, any type of sports TV show, radio show, anything, have all been talking about what happened in Raider Nation. Some of them are taking unnecessary shots. Well, yeah, Mark Davis did a good job of firing him, but he shouldn't have hired him anyway. Look, man, we learn from our mistakes and we move forward. Okay. So, cool thing. We got, a pretty direct, pretty sweet, straight to the point press conference by GM Champ Kelly and interim head coach Antonio Pierce. Couple of fun facts. Now, RJ and I knew that he was from the LA area. Okay. Antonio Pierce brought more in energy. He inspired more hope. I think he had a clearer message for Raider Nation and the team in 10 minutes of his press conference than Josh McDaniels had in 21 months as head coach. I think we can all agree on that. I think that what we're going to see out of this Raider team going forward these last 9 games is hair on fire energy. And a couple of things that he said, that Antonio Pierce said, that really stood out to me. One of them was that he wants the players to be proud to be a Raider. And that's what I've talked about in the past too. I've said we need to get back to that. There's a couple of guys who are Raider fans, like Devontae Adams. I said earlier this season, or excuse me, before the season started, that he needs to impart what it's like to be a Raider to these other guys who are just maybe young. They weren't alive, or they were too young to know when the Raiders were actually good. And Antonio Pierce, being a lifelong Raider fan, said, yeah, I want to make sure that these guys understand what it is to be a Raider, understand the pride that they should feel walking on a field with the Raider uniform on. And he gets it, man. He totally gets it. It's about what I said last night, or actually I said last night. No, actually I said this after the game. I was so like, not to toot my own horn, but like I was so on point with what needed to happen and how it was going to happen and when it was going to happen. I talked about getting ex players to come in and to just hang around and be around the guys and forget this Patriots thing on. Get these guys pumped up. Invite the ex players to come in during the training table during mealtime. Just talk to the guys. Have them watch film together. Have them just pick each other's brains about what's going on. This was a very McBud, one of the our subscribers. Yeah, he's impressed with the presser. I was very impressed with just how direct they were. There was no humming and hawing. There was no It was boom, boom, boom. Everything was clear. Everything made sense. One of the things that I really liked about the leadership style of Antonio Pierce is he said, "I don't mince words. I'm going to make sure that I feel the players, and I want to make sure they feel me when I leave that locker room. I want to make sure that everyone understands what I expect, and that I am giving them what they expect of me." If that's not a change from Josh McDaniels, I don't know what it is. Josh McDaniels throwing everyone and their grandma under the bus. It was just, after a while, it was just too much to handle. Antonio Pierce has a little bit of thug in him, and I like that. I like that edge. When we talked about yesterday, or excuse me, the day before, about a tone setter, about a culture changer, about someone who shake up the culture, what better person to shake up the culture of the Raiders than a lifelong Raider fan who battled the freaking streets of Compton in LA to get to the Coliseum to watch them play. I've been to the Coliseum to watch them play. Look, man, Oakland was no joke. I've been to Oakland too, but you can get on the BART, cross the bridge, you're in, you're out. LA, I don't know if you guys remember what Chris Rock said about Martin Luther King Boulevard. Martin Luther King stood on nonviolent protest. If you're on MLK anywhere in America, there's some violence going down. And the Coliseum was off of MLK and Figueroa. And let me tell you something right now. To go to that stadium, it was a battle to get in and it was a battle to get out. Trust me, I've been there many a times. So Antonio Pierce is the guy. He's there. I was just so inspired by his speech about, yeah, man, I'm all about LA. I grew up in Compton. I'm NWA wearing Raider hats and all this stuff. And he said that he wants the team to be proud to be a Raider, and he wants them to take the field with purpose. He wants them to be tough, passionate, with energy and enthusiasm, to play the game, to have fun. Remember, they're playing a kid's game. It's not, this is your job, do your job. Like, no, we get to play a game for our job. We get to go out there and have fun, go out there and dial it up. He was asked a direct question, what's going on at quarterback? And he said straight up, we're going with Aiden. Done and done. Guys, after all this humming and hawing and just stuff that didn't make sense, right? Like, well, yeah, Jimmy is healthy. He's going to start. And, well, why didn't you take out Brian Hoyer at halftime if he was so ineffective against the Bears? Well, it wasn't all his fault. And, we did a lot of good. He did some good things. And it was all a circle jerk is what it was. It was just a big old circle jerk. I don't know what he has against Aiden O'Connell. I don't know what JMD had against him. And honestly, it doesn't matter because he's not here anymore. So let's stop talking about the dearly departed, and let's talk about what's new. What's new is Antonio Pierce, head coach. Chad Kelly is the GM, both interim. But I'm telling you something right now, man. They're bringing this heat. They're bringing this energy. I don't know that even if we go like 5-4 or 4-5 the rest of the games, right? Let's say we're like 8-9 or 7-10 or whatever. Let's just say. But we're playing inspired ball because we're playing some good teams. We're playing the Chiefs twice. play the Chargers and the Broncos again, who are looking pretty good lately. We play the Dolphins. Like, we're playing some good teams towards the end of the season, right? Okay. If we're a 6, 7, 8 win team around there, right? But Antonio Pierce has the players, has the team playing with some juice, playing with some energy. Like he said, tough, passionate, enthusiastic, energy. If he has them playing like that, I don't think that Mark Davis is going to make the same mistake again, and go and be a star fucker and just go and hire the biggest name he can when he has a capable coach right there that the players responded to, that has a background being a Raider. Al Davis said this when he was talking. I don't remember who he was talking to, but he was talking to a guy he just drafted, and he said, "Son, there are a few very important days in your life. The day you're born, the day you get married, the day that your kids are born, and the day you become a Raider." That's what Antonio Pierce brings to this team that we haven't had in a long time. John Gruden was happy to be a Raider, but he was more happy for that freaking cheddar. I'm not bashing him or anything, but he wasn't a lifelong Raider. Antonio Pierce was alive. Let me tell you a story. If you haven't heard the story, you can Google it if you want after the show's over. David Carr on NFL Network told a story. They were teammates when David Carr is his first season with the Giants, and Antonio Pierce was still there. They went to Oakland and they were stomping the Raiders. I mean, they had just won the Super Bowl the year before. They were just stomping a mud hole in the Raiders. In like the third quarter, David Carr comes in because it's mop-up duty, right? He scores a touchdown and he's spiking the ball and he's jumping around and hooting and hollering. And Antonio Pierce says, "Hey, don't disrespect my team." And David Carr's like, "Dude, you just won a Super Bowl for the Giants." And he's like, "I don't care. The Raiders are my team. Don't disrespect them." That's how deep Silver and Black runs through Antonio Pierce. That's how deep it goes. And that's what we need. We need somebody who understands what it is to be a Raider and who promotes what it is to be a Raider. And so we want that swag. We want that arrogance. We want that walking on the field. Yeah, we're tough. Yeah, we're dirty. Yeah, we're bad guys. And guess what? What are you going to do about it? You better be dirtier, and you better be tougher, and you better be meaner than us, because that's what we're coming with. And that's what Antonio Brown. God, I hope not Antonio Brown, but Antonio Pierce brings to the table. And I'm super happy about this, man. Champ Kelly, man. Champ Kelly looked like no big deal. Like, yo, man, I'm ready for this. I've been ready for this. I've had my eye on him for a long time. And he was interviewed for a lot of different positions. He took this job because he was working closely with Dave Zeigler, somebody who maybe didn't have as much experience, who maybe he could have a little bit more influence over what's going on. There are reports out right now that Dave Zeigler was just like a glorified Mike Mayock and was kind of a puppet for JMD. That's what I'm hearing. Whatever. If he never gets a job at football again, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. Don't wish bad on him, but ultimately he ain't a Raider anymore, so I don't care. Champ Kelly's ready for this. He's excited for this. I see you if you watch the press conference, you can see the chemistry between Champ Kelly and Antonio Pierce. It's evident. They are lockstep locked in with one another. This is going to be an amazing thing, I think, for this team. Win, lose, draw, they're going to put out a good effort. And I think what I said from the beginning was best player plays. Ultimately, Josh McDaniels sunk his own ship by playing the politics game and not playing the best players. I think, me personally, myself, Aiden O'Connell was the best quarterback in that room from the very beginning. But Josh McDaniels didn't have the freaking balls to start a fourth-round rookie because his poster boy, golden child, $72 million quarterback wasn't good enough. So when we're talking about, there was some players aren't going to come out and bash their teammates, right? But players came out, and when they're talking, they were asked about what they feel about Aiden O'Connell starting. A lot of confidence in Aiden O'Connell, right? Some people even said he's our best quarterback. He should be starting. And that's pretty direct coming from the players themselves. Another thing that really impressed me about Antonio Pierce's speech in his press conference was he wants to create that open exchange. It shouldn't have to be a big deal when you can actually speak your mind to the head coach, right? It shouldn't be a big deal. That's why I called it an act of desperation. If Josh McDaniels had done it from the beginning of the year, it would be different. It wouldn't be a big deal. But because he feels that the coaches are so far above, it's like, I'm up here and I'm telling you what to do, as opposed to Antonio Pierce is like, yo, man, I've been where you've been. I've played it. I've put the pads on. I've put the work in. I've taken the lumps. I've gotten knocked around. I've knocked other people around. I've done what you've done. I'm an equal to you guys. We're all in this together. We're all Raiders. That's the kind of message that we need to send to these players that come in here. The message of empowerment. The days of being a dictator and saying you need to do this, blah 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 blah. Those days are dead, man. Those days aren't there anymore. You can't motivate these young players now by dictating to them. If you do, you better be winning almost all of your games. So it's kind of like a never-ending cycle. You're not going to win because you don't get buy-in. You don't get buy-in because you're dictating to them. You're dictating to them, and you're not winning. So it's like this whole circle that keeps happening over and over again. Ask Bill Belichick how that's working out for him over with New England. This is a new day, man. It's a new day, and we're out here trying to get this done, man. If you guys saw NWA, man, a new winning attitude. That's what we got right now in Antonio Pierce and Champ Kelly. They're NWA. New winning attitude. That's what we got. Now, let's switch our attention really quick to Mark Davis, because I think Mark Davis is still getting some undue criticism. Look, man, he made a mistake. He was quoted. He did an interview with Paul Gutierrez, and he said that he ultimately didn't see any progress. And even worse, he saw us regressing. He saw us getting worse. So it was one thing to not see progress, but to get worse. Funky Hair Man, thanks for the super chat, man. When AP said being a Raider is what I am, boom, sold. That's what I'm talking about. I was too. He comes in there and he says, "This is what I'm going to expect." He didn't promise wins, which is fine. But what he did say was, "I'm going to be in there. I'm going to talk to every single one of these guys and get their buy-in to play their butts off, to put their best play on tape." Mick Lombardi, the offensive coordinator, like I said in last night's show, before we even knew that Mick Lombardi got fired, I'm like, dude, that dude's a freaking he's a freaking a messenger boy. He's a clipboard holder. He's nothing, and he's gone too. Anthony Provencio, are you surprised that Patrick Graham didn't get interim head coach? No, I'm not surprised, because I think he's doing such a good job with progressing the defense. Not that they're where they need to be yet, but I think he's got such a good hold on this defense right now. I think it would have been a detriment to the team had we taken him away from that duty and made him the head coach, where he has everything to worry about. Just keep him focused on what he needs to focus on, which is getting that defense to play even better than they have already. Oh, not letting me hide your comment. Hide that comment. There we go. Yo, man. So from all accounts, so now that this is all said and done, we're hearing the stories come out. Apparently, there was a heated meeting, and the heat was only going one way. It was going from Mark Davis down to Josh McDaniels. There was a heated meeting after the Green Bay game, and we won that game. Could it be because of the frustrations of Davante Adams? Maybe, maybe not, probably. But you have a player like Davante Adams and you don't get him the ball against the team that he just left because he wanted to come to your Raiders and you don't use him. Just no excuse for that, man. It's just no excuse for it. He got like 4 targets or something like that. No excuse for that. So what Mark Davis did over the last few weeks, he talked to a lot of people. He talked to some trusted advisors. He talked to the current players. He talked to former players. He talked to everybody under the sun to get information, to get more info. Look, I'm not saying that I'm a genius. I'm saying the exact opposite. That's why I don't make decisions until I have enough information to logically back up my decision. That's what I do, right? Mark Davis did the same thing. Let's hope he doesn't go out chasing I'm just kidding. He doesn't go out chasing a star head coach if Antonio Pierce does the job. Because what we need here is we need a Raider. We do things differently. We do things different from everybody else in the league. And we're okay with that. We're okay with not being like everybody else. That's fine. Because we're going to get this shit done anyway. We need somebody who's a Raider in here. And if Antonio Pierce says, I'm a Raider, I've always been a Raider. Bam. Marcus Peters said the same thing. Devontae Adams said the same thing. I've always been a Raider. That's what we need. We need people like that to make sure that the culture that we want to have to pass down to the players, because guess what? Those players are going to pass it on to other players. At the gym where I work, we have our classes, our training classes, everybody trains together. Professional fighters, amateurs, just people that want to train, soccer moms, weekend warriors, little kids. Everybody trains together. Men, women, doesn't matter. You know why? Because once you step on that mat, once you step in the ring, everybody's equal. Everybody's there for the same purpose. Everybody's there to learn. And I'll tell you what, if we say to one of the pro fighters, hey, can this little kid join your group to train? You know what he's going to say? Hell yeah, come over here. Let's train. That's the culture that we set there. We're there to help everybody else get better. And by helping others, they help us. Same thing here with the Raiders. We got to make that culture where everyone realizes what it is to be a Raider. I think we've lost that over the years, especially after Mr. Davis died. We lost that. I know that Hugh Jackson was like, yeah, man, I really want to be a Raider and this and that, but ultimately he made a lot of bad decisions. Jack Del Rio, well, people are split on that. Reggie McKenzie was a Raider. Comes in here, he has a big mess to clean up. John Gruden, I don't consider him a Raider, bro. I just don't. Some people want him back. I don't want him back. But this type of passion, this type of commitment to the Raiders, this type of commitment to excellence, this is what we need. Wes Williams, yeah, I actually just covered that a little bit ago. Yeah, man, Antonio Pierce was about to whoop that ass. Antonio Pierce was about to whoop that ass, dude, for showing up the Raiders in Oakland. Hilarious. So, bottom line, what we're working through here is this. We have a new sheriff in town, a new culture that's basically back to the old culture. What better person to direct your team, to direct the culture of your team, to rebuild what was once great than a fan, a lifelong fan of the team, of the culture, understands what it means to be a Raider, also played the game at a high level, championship level play. So you're getting the best of all worlds here. You're getting a coach who knows how to reach players, who knows how to connect with players, who knows what the culture is, who understands what the culture needs to be, who understands how to get that out of the players, and who also has that weight with the players because he did it at a high level himself, at the highest level, winning championships. He ticks a lot of boxes, man. He ticks a lot of boxes. Antonio Pierce is someone that can lead this team if given the opportunity, and the opportunity starts Sunday. Now, you see it. A lot of these players, a lot of these teams like the Eagles in Philadelphia, like Miami, like the Niners, like the Lions that we just played. They have a lot of former players as assistant coaches, a lot of former guys. These aren't egghead guys, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you can't have all like that, and that's what we had with the old coaching staff. Just a bunch of guys who were like, yeah, well, this is the system. This is what we have to do. No, we need to get ex players who can explain these things to these guys. Edgar Bennett with the wide receivers. That's why the wide receivers love him. He was a running back, but guess what? He played the game. Those guys can connect with you. They connect with you, and they know how to reach you because they were once you. They were once the player. Raiders Pinoy. Soto, we're gonna have players coming through now. Yeah, we need players. I don't want players, bro. I'm tired of having players on this team. I want me some players. Players making plays. That's what we need. LGL Studio, that's a good question. Let's go ahead and get into that. You think Davis's success with his other franchises is beginning to awaken the Al in him? He's starting to act like his dad, taking players out to dinner, finding the pulse of the team, taking pride. Yes, you can be involved without meddling. Take the pulse of the people. One of the things that I did, I used to do consultation work with businesses. I would walk in and I would just start talking to the very low level people, the lowest frontline workers. What do you like about the job? What do you like about your boss? Let me do what you do. Let me learn how you learn. How do they teach you how to do this stuff? What are the pitfalls? What do you like about your training? That's how you get everything better. That's how you build a better culture. Because too many times, people that are up here know what people down here respond to. And that's not the case most times. You do what you think is right. You do what you hear and you read from like other people who are up here at higher levels, but they don't really understand what the frontline people respond to. And that is Josh McDaniels to a T. The arrogance he had and the dismissive nature he had and his utter lack of personal accountability to his players and also just a personal connection with his players sunk his ship. It is the same thing that happened in Denver, happened with the Raiders. Look, man, I'm all about bringing in ex-Raiders and sprinkling them all over this team. I think Al Davis had it right. We're different. We're the bad guys, and we're okay with it. Like John Madden said, there's an interview with John Madden, and he was like, "Yeah, people call us dirty. We're mean. We're dirty players. Yeah, we are dirty. What are you going to do about it?" That's exactly the attitude we need to have. We're going to beat you because we're bigger, we're stronger, we're faster, and we're meaner than you. Now that we know that's true, what are you going to do about it? That's the kind of attitude we need to have. All right. What else we got here? That's pretty much it, man. That's all we really learned today. Just a little bit of cleanup here. It looks like the Jimmy Garoppolo era in Raider Nation is done with. What's up, buddy? You happy about what's going on with the Raiders, bud? All right. He's a little shy today. But apparently, a Garoppolo's dead cap and his cap hit should have all hit in 1 year is about the same, about $28 million next season for 2024. But we can spread out the cap hit between 2024 and 2025, and it comes out to about 15, 13, I think, which is manageable because a lot of these other jokers that we had are falling off the books. Littleton's finally falling off the books. Nassib's falling off the books. Joyner's falling off the books. Cars falling off the books. A lot of these guys are falling off the books already, so we should have a pretty manageable dead cap and have a lot more cap space to spend for next season. Even with, let's say, for example, we cut loose Jimmy Garoppolo, his $15 million hit next year. Look, guys, there's a lot of reason for optimism, man. And one thing that I want to talk about right now, and I'm only bringing this up to hopefully bring us together. There are people that liked former players on the team who aren't on the team anymore. There are people who like former coaches who don't coach for the team anymore. It's not the time to look back at what's not here anymore. It's time for us to come together. Back in the day, we didn't have this infighting with Raider Nation. We need to get back to that point where we are now. Let's all get behind Farva, Aiden O'Connell. Let's all get behind him and push forward. We got dogs out there. We got Max Crosby is a dog. Devontae Adams is a dog. When you throw him the ball consistently, Hunter Renfrow can be a dog. When you block for him properly, Josh Jacobs is a dog. On that offensive line, Colton Miller, yeah, man, that dude's a dog. We need to go out there. Nate Hobbs, he's shown flashes he can be a dog. We need to go out there and we need to show everybody what we can do. There is too many people, right? There are too many fans. The entire NFL, all of its fans for the other 31 teams, the commissioner of the NFL, all the other owners, the referees, everybody is against the Raiders. We have too many people, too much hate going against the Raiders for us to be fighting each other. Let's put all that aside, man. Let's put all aside and push forward for one nation. Right now, that nation is being headed by Antonio Pierce, and let's hope that he can push that forward with the guys that we have, because I think we have a pretty good roster, man. Let's see here. Anything crazy? Provencio Soto, were you pissed off seeing Montez Sweat go for a second and Chase go for a third? That's about what I thought they'd go for. Sweat went for a second because he doesn't have the injury history. Chase going for a third. They're going to both want a ton of money. Don't get me wrong, man. I'm telling you, this is why I said this last year when we got a third rounder for Darren Waller. A third rounder is a good freaking pick, man. That's a good pick. That's a high pick. People don't usually go for first round picks, second round picks. You get a third, you get a second. That's big. That's big time. That's a good pick. That's a second day pick. That's good stuff. So them going for that high, yeah, I saw that. I could see that. It didn't piss me off because I don't think we should have done it. We still got to pay him. Funky Hair Man with the super chat. Thank you very much. I'm trying to put your super chat up there. That's a 2. Here's another one. My thing is looking silly right now. It's not letting me put your super chat up. Sorry about. Oh, here it is. For those about to rock, I salute you. I don't know that a lot of people know where that song comes from, but it's a pretty kick-ass song. All right, guys. That's my time for today. We were on for an hour last night. Oh, DB Cooper. Are you the real DB Cooper? I doubt it. What's your outlook for Sunday? Look, the Giants haven't been playing well, okay? They get Daniel Jones back. Daniel Jones is a capable quarterback when he's allowed to get into a rhythm, right? Saquon Barkley can be a beast when you allow him to get into a rhythm. They're missing a couple of offensive linemen. There's 2 starting offensive linemen were out. The tackles were out last week. I don't know how they're going to be this week. Defensively, they haven't been playing great, and they lost one of their better players on the defensive front in Leonard Williams. They still have Dexter Jackson. They still have Kayvon Thibodeau. They still have some players in that defense. If we don't come out with the energy and we don't smack him in the mouth early, it can be a long day. Because I don't know that without success to back the emotion, it'll last. If a fighter goes in to a fight and he's not fully confident in his corner, he's going to have doubts the first time things get hard. Let's hope that the team has full confidence in Antonio Pierce and the rest of the coaching staff, because I can see things getting difficult with this team before they come back and persevere and push forward. If they don't come correct, the Giants are going to beat them, right? It's the NFL, man. Any given Sunday, and they have some stars. They have Saquon Barkley on the. They got some star players on offense and on defense. We got to come correct, but I think ultimately we should win this game. All right, guys. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time. Everybody, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell your friends, tell your haters, tell your mamas, tell everybody about the Autumn Windbags. And we'll be back with another one. We're going to record tomorrow and release on Friday. Until then, everybody, peace.